Hey everybody, Double Diamond Brittany Duyon here. Tonight we have a special guest, Ambassador Diamond Amanda McGee on the call. Super excited to ask her a bunch of questions and get her wisdom and knowledge. She's one of our youngest Ambassador Diamonds in the company. She's only 23 and went Ambassador Diamond in less than 2 years, which is very fast, way faster than normal. So Amanda, if you don't mind, just unmute your line and just tell us a little bit about you, your background, and kind of how you got to Ambassador Diamond.
Okay, perfect. My name is Amanda McGee. You can hear me, right? I always
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm 23, and I'm originally from Nuco, Colorado. It's a town of about 400 or 500. And I went to Kansas State University right after high school, and I met my husband there. He was stationed in the military, and I was just a big party girl. I didn't really take school very seriously. We got married when I was 20, so super young, and I ended up dropping out of school because I just couldn't find something that I loved to do. I didn't feel like I was passionate about anything I was doing, and I didn't feel like I was taking the right classes to even put me where I was supposed to be. I wanted to do dental hygiene, and I was taking like yoga and short stories. So I didn't feel like that was what I should be doing. So I originally planned to just take a break, and during that break I ended up getting pregnant. So super unexpected. God has a funny way of throwing curveballs at you, but yes. I was scared, and I just took it with a grain of salt, I guess. And my husband ended up getting stationed in upstate New York, and he was training to deploy, so he was gone all the time, and I was still trying to do classes. And then I ended up accepting a position at the Red Cross for dental assisting. And they told me that I was going to get about 6 weeks of maternity leave. I'm not sure if that's the standard or not, but so I was like, okay, whatever. And then I ended up having some complications after I had my daughter. But the first time that I held her, I was like, I don't think that I'm going to be able to just send her off to someone else after 6 weeks. So, but those complications did, put a damper on that, and I called and I asked if I could get the maternity leave extended, and they said no. So I ended up dropping that, and we were slowly spiraling. My husband was at the store. He did our grocery shopping because I hate grocery shopping, and our cards were getting declined. He was a pretty high rank in the military, so he was, just saying like it was so embarrassing for him, like with his position, for our card to be declined, and that it looked really bad. And so we had to call his family a couple of times and ask for money, and neither of us are good with that. We have a lot of pride, so it definitely hurt our pride to ask for money, and I decided to do something about it. I had tried a wrap in college. I went out and I did like a couple of cake stands and stuff the day that I wrapped, so I didn't really see those desired results, and my rep didn't offer me the loyal customer program or anything like that. So I thought that one wrap was just supposed to take me from 0 to hero in one wrap, and I was like, okay, this is totally a scam. So I was looking up jobs to do. I joined a Facebook, stay-at-home moms. I ended up falling for a scam, and it was, I don't know if any of you guys remember, a company that came out. I think it was like some people from overseas made it, but you could make or read articles, and they would pay you. So you would read an article, and they would be like, okay, you just got $5 for reading this article. And if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So thankfully, I did not get my identity stolen like a few other people did, but I obviously didn't make any money from that. So I ended up finding it worked by accident. The person who signed me up, she was offering a network marketing position. I had no idea what that was, but she said, I have 2 spots available right now. no experience necessary. They're going to fill by 7 p.m. tonight, so you need to email me right now. And which is actually a very good marketing technique, by the way. So maybe you should try it. But I was like, okay, well, I better get in on this. And I mean, she did outright lie, which I obviously do not recommend doing that ever. But she was new, so I can't really blame her, I guess. But she didn't know exactly how it worked either. And then she ended up signing me and then never speaking to me again. So here I was, a new mom. My daughter was 3 months old when I found out it works, and I was like, okay, I need to figure this out right now. I am a red personality, so if you tell me to do something and I'm going to be able to make X amount of money, I'm going to make damn sure that I do that, and I'm going to figure it out. I don't care how. So I saw the charts when I first signed up. That was one of the things that I saw in our document library, and I was like, okay, well, all I wanted was executive first. And then I saw that it was just 2 people, and I was like, okay, well, that looks maybe kind of easy. And so I just printed out a Ruby chart, and I told my husband, I said, I'm going to be Ruby. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I don't really know what I'm doing, but this is what I'm going to do because $599 would help us out tremendously. Needless to say, I did not get my product credit. So if you're feeling discouraged because you did not get your product credit and maybe you don't qualify for the Ruby bonus or whatever, you can still be an ambassador. So I barely got Fast Start qualified. I got my second customer on my 30-day mark, and then my ambassador diamond, actually, she ended up calling me and she said, did you know that you have to run an auto ship? And because back then you did have to run one to be qualified for commissions. You didn't just, it was either 400 or an auto ship, not the 150 or whatever. So I was like, no, I didn't. My enroller did not. She hasn't talked to me since she signed me up, so I didn't know anything about that. So I was staying at my mom's, and it was during the summer, and I said, I need to borrow roughly $100 from you, but I'm going to get it back to you, I promise. And so she ended up giving me the money for my auto ship, and I told my husband, and he was really mad because we agreed that we weren't going to ask people for money anymore. So that happened. I got Fast Start qualified, and then it actually took me 6 months to go Ruby. But I was never, I never thought, well, for 1 second that I couldn't do it. I knew that I could do it because I was seeing people. Jade is a sideline to me. I'm sure everyone knows who she is. Yes. She started at the same time, just like a few days after me or something, and she was signing people like crazy. So if you guys are seeing people that are signing people like crazy, ask them what they're doing. And I did. I wrote her, and I was like, what the heck are you doing right now? Because I'm trying to go Ruby, and it's not happening, and you need to give me some tips because obviously whatever you're doing is working. And this was her tip. She said, I don't sleep. I was like,
I've heard her say that on her videos before.
Yeah. I was like, okay, well, I love sleeping, so this is going to be a problem. But I started paying attention to when people were interacting with me. So if I made a post in the morning and people were not interacting with me in the morning, then I would see if maybe I made a post at night and then people were interacting with me. So I noticed between the hours of like 7 and 10, that's when the most people were interacting with me. It might be different for whoever, but that's what worked for me. So I was like, okay, this is like the golden time to post for me. So I carved that time out in my schedule to dedicate to this. Like I told my husband, I'm like, you need to watch our daughter because from 7 to 10, I'm going to be on my phone. And he's like, no, I don't like that. I was like, well, we're going to be making a lot of money here soon. Trust me. So I did. It was a sacrifice that I had to take. And I think that for anything worth keeping, you have to make sacrifices. So I chose to stop watching Bones, which was my favorite show. And I chose to take that time that I was watching TV and put it into my business. So every single day, I printed off my Ruby chart and I saw it hanging up. I saw it hanging up for 6 months, you guys. This is crazy. And a lot of people, well, for the Ruby bonus, if anyone's gotten it on the call, I'm sure some people have, that's Ruby in 2 months. That's huge. So if you got that and you're being discouraged, you're absolutely insane, because you can build a lot faster than I did. And I saw some people talking, because it was about to approach the holidays. I signed in July, and they were saying, don't get in the mind state where you think that your business is slowing down, because the moment where you're like, oh, it's the holidays, people are saving money for presents, or people aren't interested. Once you say people are not interested, then that makes your how you're posting and how you are in general, what you're putting into your business, all of that is going to slow down, because you're telling yourself it's going to. And I actually talked to Pam Souter a couple of days ago, and she reminded me of that. This is how I built to Ambassador. And I was like, I never told myself I was going to slow down. And just because I'm having my own personal issue. But she reminded me of that. And I think that a lot of people, they get to doing something really well, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, what's happening? They start getting discouraged. So when you're doing something really well, even if you sign just one person, that is one life that you can change. That's like in the palm of your hand, per se. So celebrate that, and then recognize what you did to get that customer. Because if you're just blindly signing people up, then you're going to easily forget when the time is slow for you, which don't tell yourself it's going to be slow, but you're going to easily forget what you did or what you were doing to grow so fast. So when I went ambassador, my husband and I celebrate everything. So I signed a couple of distributors, a couple of customers this month. Even still, I'm like, hey, babe, I just got a customer. And we celebrate that. And I think that's huge. Even one customer, you're building your business. So just take it step by step. I definitely encourage always having your chart out in front of you, because when I was walking by my fridge, I put it on my bathroom mirror. Well, I put I am double diamond on my bathroom mirror. I don't know why I wanted to be ruby, but I was like, I'm going to be a double diamond. So I put double diamond on my mirror for some reason, by such and such date. And then I put my ruby chart on my fridge. And every time I was walking to my fridge and that chart was empty, it was like chipping away at my soul, I think. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to fill this chart. And so I started talking to people, and that's literally all it is. It's talking to as many people as you can, because as many seeds that you can plant as possible, that's the better the chances that the people are going to bloom. I guess the seeds are going to turn into flowers, if we want to be corny. So, just talk to as many people as you can. I was messaging 50 to 100 people every single day, and I was trying to get new people in. I was making sure I went triple just off of Facebook, so I was like joining all these groups. There was a couple mom groups. Mom groups tend to be a little bit catty, so I don't know if you're willing to take that on, maybe go ahead and try that. But I did for sale groups. I didn't post in there, but I just added the people as friends. So I'd say hey, if anyone has a baby swing, I'm looking for one. And then whoever commented on that, I would add them as a friend. And 9 out of 10 times, they would just accept that. And so that was more people that I was bringing into my circle that were going to see what I had to offer. And I was so excited all the time. The more personal that you can be, the better. So when I bought my first plane ticket, I think I signed, the most distributors I ever signed in 1 month was 17. Well, it was in 2 weeks, and that's the month that I went ambassador. But the day that I bought my first plane ticket, I signed 12 distributors in one day, because people saw me struggle. They saw that I was getting my card declined because I was putting that on Facebook. When it said, what is on your mind? What was on my mind is that I was broke, and it was not fun. And walking out of, or having to put your groceries back that you made a list for is so embarrassing. And it's so embarrassing when you cannot afford formula to feed your kid. And so you're having to ask people for money. It's embarrassing. But the good news is that it doesn't have to be that way. And I saw that this company has an exact map. You have to place the charts together, but there is an ambassador chart. So as long as you're charting, that is your map to success. Mm-hmm. If you don't have your map hanging somewhere where you can see it, maybe you're not going to work as hard because it seems too far-fetched because you can't see that map. People don't just go cross-country without a GPS unless they're just wanting to be lost.
Yeah.
So definitely map yourself to success. And they saw that I was doing that and I was making it happen. And even though I wasn't making, I talked like I was making way more than I was. I didn't say that, but I was really bragging on myself. I was just like, you guys, I just got a $99 bonus today. I was not expecting it. This is all true, but you don't have to lie ever about what you're making. But if you're excited, that is going to feed into the people that are seeing your posts. So they're going to be like, obviously it's working for her. She's excited. And so I really broke down and I got emotional on a post and about that plane ticket because we got stuck in Colorado when we were in New York. My husband ended up driving back, and my daughter and I were stuck because our pipes burst in my house in the winter, and it ruined everything that we had. And I wasn't Ruby yet. I don't even think I was an executive. So, I mean, my husband was kind of looking at me like, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to hurry up because we need money now. And so I think that when you, and I'm not saying like your pipes have to burst in your home and you have to lose everything, but it could be something as little as not being able to feed your baby. Like that is rock bottom to me. Mm-hmm. And when we had nothing, I was like, okay, here we go. Like something has got to change. So I posted that I had just bought a plane ticket because I was saving our commissions. Chris was like, that's my husband, by the way. He was like, you need to save because we don't have the money right now. So your money is going to be for our phone bill, and then it's going to be for everything that we have to replace in our home. So I was saving. So little does he know, I took the money out of that, and I bought a plane ticket. And I was like, I have always had to ask for money to go home. You know, in the military, you're traveling, and you're likely somewhere where you're not with your family. And when I had my daughter and no one came, you know, to be there for her being born and stuff like that, that really, like, hurt. So I was like, I need a plane ticket because I want to bring my daughter to see you guys. And so I was always asking for a plane ticket. And I did go see family a lot because they always gave it to me. But when I bought my own, I was, like, in tears. And I think that everyone who had been watching me, because people are watching you. If they're not liking your post and they're not commenting on it, if they are your friend, they are seeing your post. So it doesn't matter if they don't like it or they don't comment on it because they're still seeing it. So I had probably like 700 Facebook friends at the time, and I probably had like over 500 people like that post because that was like my whole audience that was watching me, and they were liking it. And then on the right-hand side where you can see your activity, if there was any mutual friends, they're like, so-and-so is liking Amanda McGee's post. And I signed 12 distributors up that night because they saw that this is real and this is something that was going to change my life. So that is my biggest tip. That's how I went ambassador, is I let it change my life. I let it be a part of my life. It wasn't just a hobby that people were seeing me like, oh, I want to do an online party for you. Let me hand you some catalogs, blah, blah, blah. No, it was this company just allowed me to buy a ticket that I've never been able to pay for before. This company just allowed me to buy my daughter formula and an outfit. And everything she had was hand-me-down. We had this old rocking chair that if you held anything that was more than half an ounce, it would fly you across the room because it didn't have any traction. So just, yeah, stuff like that. I feel like I'm rambling, but that is the best tip that I can give, is that if you let it change your life and you hang your map up, then that's literally all you need. That's your vehicle, your map in your vehicle.
And that's so great because a lot of people are so scared to kind of let that guard down and let people really into their story and be a part of their story. And they're scared to let people know, you know, where they came from. And I love how you're you're saying whenever you let your guard down, the floodgates just, everybody just started pouring in. So I really think that that's very important. I've noticed just on my posts specifically that whenever I put a little more thought and effort into it, whenever I definitely post a little bit more like personal, more than I would normally post, out to the public or whatever, I definitely get more positive feedback. So I know that's just great, and I love hearing your story. It gives me chills, and it just inspires me to know that, it doesn't matter where you came from or where you started, you can do it. And I love how you just said a few minutes ago that even if if you got your Ruby bonus and now you're discouraged, don't be, because you can still be an ambassador, because it took you 6 months just to go Ruby. A lot of people think that if you don't start fast from the beginning, that they just kind of throw the towel in and they're like, nope, it's not for me. I couldn't do it, and they just kind of give up on themselves, and it's really frustrating. I'm sure for you as a leader, and I know for me as a leader, to see people that just kind of throw their hands in the air and they're just kind of like, I can't do it. This is not for me, when, they haven't really given themselves a chance, and this is such an amazing opportunity for anybody. So just a couple of questions that I have for you.
Okay.
So I know you started out on Facebook, and you built all the way to Triple Diamond using Facebook, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you said that you basically figured out when the majority of your friends were engaging with you, like what times. What would you say? Like, what were you posting then whenever you were building from the ground up? What were you posting during those times, and how often, kind of like throughout the day, were you posting?
From the beginning, so I told myself, and consistency truly is the key to making this all happen, because people want to see that it is a part of your life, and you're alive every day right now. That's going to change, obviously, but right now. So you should, if that is a part of your life and that's something that is going to change your life, everyone should be posting as if it already has changed your life. Because if you're complaining about it, first of all, never, ever, ever complain to your Facebook about your business. That is horrible. I've seen a couple of people do that, and it makes me cringe. And then they wonder why nobody wants to join that adventure, because it sounds horrible, because you just told everybody that you're having a hard time. So definitely keep that out of the public. If you have a hard time, message a sideline, an upline, whatever. Message somebody who understands, but do not message somebody who will be the crab in the bucket and pull you down. So message somebody who inspires you, someone who will lift you higher, because if you see someone else complaining, you're like, oh, I'm going to, get in a bucket with her and complain with her, then you guys are just going to pull yourself down. So definitely talk to the right people. I committed from the day that I started to posting just breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Some people will post more or less. The breakfast, lunch, and dinner was my before and after pictures. People don't care what a bottle of cleanser looks like. They want to know what it's going to do to your face. And those are actually money. Like, that is literally money. So I was asking I would tell people, hey, I'm just starting out. I need your before and after picture so that I can put it in my book of my own personal pictures that I'm going to use. And that's what I used for a long time in the beginning. Like, I need some more hair models. I need some more wrap models, because I only have 5 pictures or 5 before and afters or whatever of my own. Or I need a guy. I need somebody with long hair, and I need somebody with short hair, like stuff like that. So that relates to the person who's seeing your stuff. So if you're saying, like, if you were to tell me I need somebody with short brown hair who wants to grow their hair out to be a hair model, and you're going to get free product credit, you're going to get $10 instantly just for signing up to share to Twitter and Pinterest. We obviously didn't have these perks when I started, but they're making it easier and easier for you guys to be able to attract people. You just have to word it right. So if I saw that, I'd be like, hey, I have short brown hair and I want to grow my hair out. So yeah, sure. So make it appealing to the person that is going to be seeing it. I need somebody who wants to lose 50 or more pounds to use my naturally based products, and I'm going to track your journey. I'm going to check in on you, and then all you have to do is send me your pictures. That appeals to people. That relates to people. When I was posting my before and after pictures, I would have people and they would be like, oh my gosh, that girl in the before picture, that looks like me. And I want to look like the after picture. And so I'm like, hey girl, come on, let's go. So definitely make your posts relatable. The same with the business post. So my breakfast, lunch, and dinner was just before and after pictures. And then in between that, I would do some business posts. So I never did the join my team for $99. People don't care necessarily about that stuff. If you make it what you're going to do for them, then that's when they jump on board. So I was saying, I'm looking for a single stay-at-home mom who is looking to help her husband out with money. So if you're making it relatable, then those people are going to be like, hey, that's me. So they're going to message you. I never said details in any post. I never said this is $99 in the post. The more you can message people, the more you're going to be able to connect with them on a personal basis, one-to-one. So never give away information out on a post, the wraps are $99. Message that person and tell them they're $99, but you can get them for my price of $59 if you want to take your pictures for me. I was all about the pictures because the pictures is money. So that really got me all my customers and distributors, I guess. Just change how you post. Don't be an advertisement. Be an adventure.
That's awesome. So did you do, when you first started, were you doing parties or were you doing just strictly social media?
I did strictly social media. This is a reason why. So I tell everyone, don't get it in your head what you will and you will not do, because for the kind of money that I make, which is an average of $36,000 a month, you should be willing to do anything. People, sell their body to make even close to that amount. So you should be able to, or you should tell yourself that you'll do anything to do that. So my situation was a little bit different. So I had to make it work for me. When I was in college, shortly before I got married, there was some cops watching us at a party, and the moment I got in my car to leave, I got a DUI. So I was not able to drive anywhere, and I have a pride issue, so I didn't want to tell people, if you come pick me up, I will do a party for you. We had one reliable vehicle, and my husband was training to deploy, so he was gone all the time. So I saw that you can work. I mean, you can work. You can build however you want. So I saw I can do this on social media. So I decided to just be really, really, really good at that until my situation could change that could allow me to build in another way. So if you're unable to do certain things, I mean, you can do events, you can do parties, you can, talk to a gym, a hair salon, whatever. But if you're unable to do something at the time, just commit to being really good at doing what you can do. And for me, that was social media. I actually went ambassador totally on social media.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm in my situation. When I first started, it was definitely more of a social media thing, and now I've definitely opened up my doors. I'm more open to different things now. But kind of like with you, I did have a vehicle, but with working full-time and stuff, I wasn't able to do parties at night. I didn't have time, really. That's all that it came down to. I was working it at night and early in the morning, and nobody wants to do a party at 5 o'clock in the morning, So that's awesome. Okay, so you built all the way to triple on Facebook. Did you use Instagram, or when did you incorporate Instagram into your business?
I started using it. I had an Instagram. I just didn't see how I could make it to where somebody would want what I had to offer them, because it was just pictures. So for Facebook, I was having a lot of interaction because I wasn't posting just about the business. I was posting, you know, I'm like a smart ass. So if I see something that's funny to me, then, I mean, it might not be funny to somebody else, but I have a lot of people like interacting on my stuff because I was posting pictures of my daughter. I was trying to be funny. I was, you know, showing people that this business was a part of my life. It just wasn't a hobby. So I went Ruby in January. That was my 6-month mark. In February, I went Diamond. And then January, February, March. March I went Double Diamond. April I went Triple Diamond. So it was April where I started seeing that I could do this so that people could see it on Instagram. The best way to do that is to show them. I mean, we're all about the pictures. So I started posting the before and after pictures. And then I started saying, you know, I was all about referrals before we had a referral program. So, and I still find myself like reverting back to that, but that was a huge part of how I built my business. So when I got a customer, I would say, you know, I'm doing a drawing on Friday for a surprise free product. All you have to do is, you know, tell me 5 people who you think might be interested in either the wraps or the hair, skin, and nails or whatever I thought would be good at the time, based off of a before and after picture that I posted. And I never have had somebody be like, no. Everybody wants free stuff. So they're like, okay, here's my sister's name. You know, they're giving me these people's information. So I'm like, okay. So then I started following the people that they gave me. And I'm like, just tag them, and I'll add them as a friend, and I'll follow them. And they were like, okay. And I asked the people that I was asking them, I still do, to post a picture of yourself with the product, and then I'll put you into a drawing. I like drawings too. I mean, you can't do it for obviously new signups, but you can do so many different things that will attract you to grow your cold market. So post a picture of yourself holding the product that you got, and then I'll put you into a drawing for a surprise free product, or I'll put you into a drawing for a free wrap. And they did. And so there are people that I followed. It wasn't so random when they were seeing their friend or their sister or their mom or whoever post a picture with a product and tag me in it. It wasn't random then. So, I mean, Instagram's a little bit different now because I remember when I first started, they were like, okay, who are you? And I was really intimidated by that question because I'm like, I don't want them to think I want to wear their skin. So I just said, you know, I'm just looking to make new friends. I didn't tell them anything about my business because I don't want anyone to think that the only reason why I'm following you is to rope you into what I have to offer. So I just said, I'm trying to make new friends. And everyone was really nice. Now you can follow random people and they don't care. They will let you. They're like, okay, cool. Because it's more of a numbers thing. People are more concentrated on how many followers so-and-so has and how many followers my cousin has. And so it's more of a numbers game. You can go crazy and add totally random people and they'll be completely cool with it. So it's a little bit different now, which is easier. But yeah, I started to make the long story short, I started after I went triple in April.
Okay. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Hang on. I'm laughing at you saying the numbers game because my husband has an Instagram and he teases me all the time because I have like 7,000 followers on my Instagram account and he has like 700. So whenever he tells me, oh, I gained like 20 followers this week, it's a big joke in our house.
Yeah.
Like, you gained 20 followers this week. Okay, so let's say that you enrolled a new distributor tonight. What are like the first steps that you have them do to really kick off their business after signing with you?
I use, and this is another tip, definitely use the things that the company is giving you or the incentives for people to sign up. So we have the $500 rebate bonus again, and that's made it really easy for me to keep it simple because I'm all about keep it simple. The moment somebody writes me a 25-page novel on what I'm about to do, I'm probably going to unfollow you because that's too much. I'm not even going to read it. So I like to keep it very simple. I tell people Well, when I'm signing them up, so if I'm talking to a potential, then I just say you're joining at an amazing time because you automatically qualify for a $500 Ruby bonus. And step one is joining the family, and as soon as you do that, I can get you started on the last 2 steps to getting that. And so that makes it achievable. And so they're like, okay, well, how do I join the family? And then I just tell them you have to get your business kit. It's $99, and it comes with 4 body wraps, 4 samples of defining gel marketing materials, and Success Magazine. You can keep those products for yourself, or you can tell them to make it back. Are you ready now? And 9 times out of 10, they are ready then because it's simple. And so they sign up, and I say, okay, we have 30 days. I make it we. So I don't want anybody to think that, like, when I sign them up, I'm just going to feed them to the wolves, like what happened to me. I mean, I obviously made it work for me, but a lot of people don't. I mean, most people, the reality is that most people are quitters. So especially if you're not going to help them, then they're going to quit really fast. So I say we have 30 days for you to get $120 in free product credit, and all you need to do is get your first 4 loyal customers. Since our signature product is the wrap, I have them just start with that and then ask them to private message or text or however they want to communicate with their family. I ask them to message their family and friends and I tell them, those are the people that are going to join your team. Those are the people that are going to support you, even if they don't really know what you're doing. Or if they're like, okay, great, she's joined a pyramid scheme like my family was in the beginning, then but they're still going to support you anyways. So I tell them to just message their friends and family and don't write anyone off. Don't look through your friends list right away and say, Cindy Lou who's not going to join my team because she would think this is stupid. So don't get it in your head that anybody is going to think anything. And so I tell them to just message their family and friends, and we are going to work on getting you your $120 in free product credit. So, and I check in with them daily. I have them start a hundreds list after they've messaged their friends and family. So I give them a day or so to digest what I just told them, which isn't a lot because I'm so simple. And so I ask them if they did that, and most of the time they do, and they get a couple, or some people even get their 4 right away. And then I add them to my group after that, and I tag them and welcome them, and then I have them start the hundreds list and then start posting on Facebook. And I ask them, I tell everybody, don't for $36,000 a month, you should be willing to do anything for your business, and everyone will agree with that because that's an amazing income. And so I ask them if they have a friend who would like to throw a party. We just put everything out on the table, ways to grow. I tell them they can check their Chamber of Commerce to see events. It's all simple. So if they got there, let me retract a little. If they got their 4 customers right away, then I tell them we are going to work on helping them grow their team by working on distributors next. So depending on where they are, if they haven't got their 4, then I help them do their hundreds list and whatever. But I have them also post the before and after and get into the breakfast, lunch, and dinner mind state and the consistency. And you do have to post these, even though you have your customers, you do have to post these just so that people can see them, because the average person takes, I think it's 18 times to see something before they're like, okay, sign me up. So.
Yeah. So whenever you have your new distributors working on their hundreds list, everybody has different ways, different methods of how, how to do it. I know it's write down 100 people and you're going to contact those people. Do you tell your new distributor to stick with the wrap still for the hundreds list, or how do you kind of, what do you tell them to kind of go after for that whenever they contact that person?
I tell them so if they need customers still, then definitely wraps. I kind of have them introduce their business, like, hey girl, I was thinking about you today. Sorry, I sound like a dinosaur. I have a little bit of a cough. I don't know why.
You're fine.
I have them, say something like, hey girl, I was thinking about you, because everybody knows 100 people, or most people should. Like, that's not a lot of people. So and it's not going to be random. So it's not cold messaging. It's not spamming. It's somebody that you know. and you can introduce your business to them privately because that's where you get that personal one-on-one time with them. So I have them just introduce their business. Like, you're going to start seeing what I'm doing, and I was thinking about you. I hope you're doing well. I just want to thank you in advance for the support because, and once again, that's that positive mind state. Just assume that everybody's going to support you, and that's going to bring back a lot of positive energy into your business. So I have them say that. It's kind of a like script, I guess, but I have them tell them to edit it for their personal thing, but for each person or whatever. So it's definitely not a spam. But if they're messaging those 100 people that they know, then it's not random. So that helps.
Yeah. So you don't have them like ask them to be a product tester or anything whenever they work their 100 plus. They're basically just messaging people to introduce their business to them and thank them in advance for their support.
Yeah, because most people, you will have those people that read it and they don't respond, but the good thing about that is you planted that seed. And so they're going to start seeing your posts anyways. And a lot of people, I've noticed, they'll ask what it's about. Like, oh, what are you doing? What? And so then that opens the door for you to, tell them about the products that we have to offer. You can ask that, like, if you're interested, I would love to help you. But I think if you're like, I need 4 people right away, that kind of comes off maybe a little bit forward in a first message.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, just a couple more questions because I know we're getting short on time here and I don't want to keep you all night from the babies. So what do you say to somebody that has been in the business for 4 to 5 months that started off really strong and has maybe kind of hit a plateau now? We all, go through hard times. I'm assuming that kind of your slow time was, from the time that you joined to the time that you hit Ruby. What do you tell your new distributors whenever stuff like that happens? Because I know there's a lot of people right now that are just kind of getting frustrated. And I think it's all just a mindset thing, and everybody goes through a funk, But what do you tell your distributors whenever they go through that, or what do you tell yourself whenever you go through that?
I think it's very important as far as growing and to grow to make it a point to be uncomfortable so that you can be comfortable. So if you're having a plateau or you were doing really well and you're slowing down, then get uncomfortable for a little bit. So do something maybe that you wouldn't have done before because it was out of your comfort zone. So if you don't do a 100 list because you don't want to message people and introduce your business, then do that. There's Facebook filtering, so maybe somebody hasn't seen your posts yet, or maybe they have and they haven't liked them, but you can still message them and plant that seed. I think it's important to constantly grow your cold market, so that's always people, that you're adding to your circle. So if you're being slow, then make it a point to add 20 people a day or an hour or something on Instagram, and then 5 new Facebook friends. Grow your cold market, but the best thing that I can tell you is do not stop posting. Do not stop telling people what you do, because the moment that you stop and you stop being consistent, that's when you just took your business and you made it a hobby. And if your mouth is closed, then your business is closed. So always be open for business. Always continue to post. Don't slow down on your posting, even if no one's liking them, if no one's commenting, still do it because they're still watching you. And if the average person takes 18 times before they're convinced to sign up, then that's just proves that you have to be consistent and you have to show people at least 18 times. If you're adding people, that's 18 more times. So just keep being consistent and keep doing your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whatever your routine is. Keep posting, keep being excited. If you were doing really well and you notice that you've slowed down, chances are your excitement has slowed down too. So get excited again. Celebrate small accomplishments. Even if you made a goal to have 1,000 followers on Instagram, get 1,000 followers. You can control that. That's something that you can control. There's a lot about this business that you cannot control, but you can control being consistent. You can control different ways to grow, adding people to your cold market, messaging people, getting uncomfortable, go blitzing for a day. Do something that you wouldn't normally do. Get uncomfortable. That's my tip.
That's awesome. That's really awesome, because a lot of us, we get very comfortable with where we are, and then that's whenever things start slowing down, and then we look at it and we're like, oh no, what happened? And we don't even realize it. It just happens, and we don't realize it at first. Okay, so we all make mistakes in our business. Some are big, some are small, but we all make mistakes. What do you think is a mistake that you may have made in the beginning or now, and if you had the chance, you would kind of do that situation over again?
A mistake that I continuously make over and over is I have a huge heart. So everyone that I sign up, I have big dreams for. And you can't dream for other people. You can't want it for them. They have to want it for themselves. So I would say a mistake that I always make, or I continue to make, and I still do it. Even I can feel myself doing this, and I still do it anyways. But I want them, because I see, I have people tell me kind of their story or what they want out of the company when they join. So if they told me that they have a mom that's on life support and they need to, help her with medical bills or something like that. All of those stories, they're obviously not all that dramatic, but all of those stories hit me in a certain way, and I dream for them. I'm like, okay, girl, you're going to be the next ambassador. Let's go. Da, 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 da. And if they are slowing down or they're not doing it, then I kind of pull away from that, because I'm like, you're not, doing what I want you to do, because I want you to be successful, but I want it for them. And so that's a mistake that I continuously made. And then when I built, I guess a mistake that I made, or one of them, I guess, would be that I chose to build all of my family. I was just signing up my family, and I was like, you're going to be in a leadership position. I was taking on way more than I could chew at the time. And so I was leading their teams. I wasn't pouring into my leaders, and Pam told me this too the other day. She reminded me. She said, don't focus so much on the chart that you're building the wrong people. So just focus on who's working. So if you're not looking at your map, which is your chart, only focus on the people that are working, and your chart's going to fill itself, because you're going to be putting your people in those qualified lead positions, and you're going to be building yours, and they're going to be building theirs, because you're focusing and you're pouring into those people. And so my mistake was that I signed up my family, and I was taking on their business, and hey, Grandma, let's sign you up. And I was taking on my grandma's business, and it was so much. So you don't have to do that to be successful. I was just seeing empty boxes, and I'm like, okay, I need 2 more distributors, and I'm going to be a presidential. So Mom, you better call your brother, and we're going to sign him up, and I'm going to do his business for him. And that's too much. So you don't have to take on more than you can handle. Just pour into those people. Pour into them in the beginning so much that you do kind of dream for them. So I always talk to people like they are my next diamond. And then I try to kind of retract if they're retracting. But if you're talking to them and you're encouraging them and you're celebrating with them their accomplishments, then you're going to take somebody who probably would have been a walker, and you're going to turn them into a runner, because people will do a lot for a little recognition. If you're constantly shouting people out like, congratulations to Cindy Lou, who just got her 6th customer, you got a rap reward, so celebrate those publicly, and that'll turn that walker into a runner, because they're going to do it again. And I guess I kind of turned that mistake into some tips, but that was my mistake, I guess, is I lacked the recognition for people, because I thought that I could just build everyone. turn your walkers into runners by celebrating with them.
Yeah, that's awesome. One more thing, and I promise I'll let you go.
Okay.
What was kind of like your aha moment, or when in your business did you say to yourself, you know, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be an ambassador no matter what it takes. You know, I can do this.
I thought that I could do it from the beginning, because if you commit to not quitting, then you can do it. You've already told yourself you can do it because you've committed to not quitting. So I told myself I could do it from the beginning, but I didn't really know. It didn't click, I guess, until I hit Ruby. And then, like, from Ruby to Emerald, that's 2 rubies, and I went from Ruby to Diamond. So when I hit Ruby, I saw how all an ambassador is a whole bunch of rubies, and I was like, I could build a few more of these. And so I did. I mean, I built, 3 more and went Diamond and totally skipped Emerald in a month, and I got the $10,000 bonus for that. So that's definitely when it clicked for me, and I think that my excitement poured into my team when that hit me, and they were inspired to go Diamond or to go Ruby as well. And so we were all working to go Ruby, and that's when it just exploded, because ambassador is just rubies.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of rubies for sure. Okay, so just last thing, if you had one tip that you could give a new distributor, what would that be?
Don't write anyone off. Don't look at anyone and say that they wouldn't want this, because it's not your job to say who deserves $36,000 a month and who doesn't. Because the person that you sign tomorrow could be me. It could be that person who knows that they can do it from the start, and they're going to do it no matter what it takes. It could be that person who their card was declining. They couldn't feed their baby. They were asking their family for money. So don't assume that anybody deserves or doesn't deserve this. It's not our job to assume. I never assume that the person who seems so confident on Facebook doesn't want to rap. Don't assume that, because chances are she would love to rap. She would love to tighten and tone and firm. So don't ever make assumptions based on what you see on Facebook, because there's so much more going on that people don't say. And all your job is to do is to talk to as many people as you can. So the more people that you're connecting with and you're being personal with, you know, hey girl, I was thinking about you, I hope you're doing well, just stuff like that, that's opening the door for conversation. You don't have to say, hey, have you tried that crazy rap thing? Just saying, hey, I was thinking about you, I hope you're doing well. That is opening the door for conversation. Hey, I hope you're doing well too. You know, oh, I'm doing awesome. You know, my business is exploding. That's just opens the door. So open doors and don't assume.
That's awesome. Such an amazing tip. And I know that I've learned so much just from chatting with you the other day and then again tonight that I'm definitely going to start implementing into my business. For everybody else that's on the call, if you don't mind, just go into the Diva group and give us a comment on the post that I put in there earlier, just kind of what your aha moment was for tonight, or what you learned, what you thought was just a great tip, you know, just so we can share everything. And I really appreciate it, Amanda, for taking your time out of your night to share all of this information with us. And I'm really, really excited to be able to meet you at one conference in February. I keep saying January because it was January last year, but it's in February this year.
Yes, I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.